Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex. Today, I wanted to take a look at one specific topic, really focusing in on, the number one reason why Dave Gettleman should be fired. Now, there's a lot of reasons. There's probably about a million reasons, and people bring up pretty good ones every single day via social media and whatnot. And obviously, in the comments in the channel, you guys have some really great thoughts and ideas. But I wanted to talk about one thing that really I think is the catalyst behind the Giants potentially making the decision to move on from Dave Gettleman. And it really always boils down to the offensive line, right? Now, this season has been a little bit unique. Of course, the injuries have taken a significant toll on the quality of the team, especially on offense. But the offensive line has really just been shredded to bits, right? You have Andrew Thomas on IR now. You have Nick Gates, who fractured his leg. He's on IR. You have Shane Lemieux, who had a partially torn patellar tendon. He got surgery, and now he's done for the season. So in a perfect world, we'd have Andrew Thomas, Shane Lemieux, Nick Gates, Will Hernandez, and then, of course, you have Nate Solder, who sucks no matter what, at right tackle. I wanted to go through the history a little bit of the Giants draft selections of their free agent signings and really take a look at, Dave Gettleman, since he's been here, has made a lot of bad moves, and a lot of them have been on the offensive line. So when he originally got here, 2018, the Giants, they have some decent pieces, but they know they need a left tackle. That's first and foremost. They need to really bolster up that offensive line, especially with Eli Manning and the whole situation going on there. And they go out and they sign Patrick Omameh, right? They signed Patrick Omameh to a 3-year, $15 million deal. He doesn't even make it through one full season before he's eventually cut, which is really disappointing. He struggled a lot. He did not pan out. And the Giants really started off this kind of new era, this new regimen, with a really terrible free agent signing there. Of course, the big one that still is plaguing us to this day is Nate Solder. Nate Solder comes in, gets a huge 4-year deal, up to like $62 million, and they're still paying him, right? So right this year, he's making $9.5 million. He restructured his contract this past offseason, and he's making $9.5 million. Next year, he's still on the books for $4 million. Otherwise, they just cut him and they have to consume that money as dead cap anyway. So he'll be on the team next year as well. This is a really interesting situation for the Giants because their past few years, especially in the beginning of the whole process, were not good. Omameh, really terrible signing. Nate Solder has proven to be an awful signing, and then they went and got John Jalapio, who really, was okay at best. He was below average, and he, I don't even think he's in the NFL anymore after he had a couple of injuries, and I think he fractured his leg as well. But it's unfortunate to see because the Giants, Dave Gettleman is specifically known for, sorry if the camera is moving, my cat keeps hitting it. Come on, buddy, get out of here. The whole idea here is that Dave Gettleman is supposed to be this guru of finding, offensive linemen, whether it be in the draft or free agency. It doesn't matter. And ultimately, he failed to do that. He failed to actually go and do that one thing that we needed him to accomplish, that our quarterbacks could have the time and presence in the pocket to make good throws and play well. And that's been an unfortunate, con so far. He's done the exact opposite. And the free agents, obviously not very good. The drafts got a little bit better last year. But let's take a look at 2018. His first draft class, Will Hernandez, really did not play well until this season. His rookie season was okay. He showed really good signs of potential, but then he took a step backward. Year 3 was not very good. Year 4 this year, right guard, he is actually playing quite well. Was one of our better options there, but he's still probably hovering around the average level. So he's not great. He's not bad. He's a good. He's serviceable. And then, of course, we go on to the next year. We go and we get pretty much George Asafo Ajayi. He's a 7th round, guy. Nothing to really write home about. He's not even on the team anymore. So that's really unfortunate. The Giants, now kind of strike out on Will Hernandez the first 3 years of his career. And then, that 7th round pick doesn't end up being anything at all. And then you have this past draft class, or last year's draft class, Andrew Thomas, who looks really good this year, Matt Pert, who has really struggled, Shane Lemieux, who has unfortunately was injured, but ultimately, people think that he was going to be like the savior at left guard, and he really just never was. He was a bad player last year for the Giants. He was not good by any means. I'm not exactly sure why people think that, he was going to come in here and really be like the solution at left guard. He performed terribly. He was an awful pass blocker last year. We were hoping for him maybe to get to average, but that was a stretch to begin with. So Shane Lemieux, in my opinion, was not the savior of this offensive line. So up to this point, most draft picks are striking out. Most free agent signings are striking out. Nick Gates is obviously a huge plus in that category as an undrafted free agent out of Nebraska. He was actually a really great player. He moved around a lot and established himself as a versatile piece there. But again, they're always changing up his position. They're always changing his position, whether it be right tackle, right guard, center, left guard. Then he gets hurt. So they haven't really been able to say, we got some pieces. Let's let Nick Gates be our starting center, and he's a good one at that. They keep having to shift guys around because they have so many weaknesses. Dave Gettleman, the number one reason he needs to go is because the offensive line has struggled. Andrew Thomas taking a big step forward is amazing. It's a huge bonus. That's, his parting gift to this team, but it's too late, right? Daniel Jones is headed into the fourth year of his career. He's headed next year into the fifth year option, or rather the fourth year next year, and then the fifth year option after that. So like a really, really, you have a short window here. You don't have much time to fix this offensive line. The number one reason Dave Gettleman should be fired is because he hasn't done it yet. If you want your offense to do well, you don't even need to spend a second overall pick, a first round pick on a running back. All you need is a good offensive line. If you watch the Browns, Dearness Johnson, guys, an undrafted free agent, comes in here 122 yards. They're opening up freaking lanes the size of the Red Sea when Moses parted it for this guy to run through. Of course, he's going to play well. He had a 40-yard dash. Ultimately, the Giants just simply haven't been able to establish this offensive line, and unfortunately, Dave Gettleman is a primary reason behind that, whether it's a talent evaluators or him just missing on guys. I think now we have to realize that this past draft class, the Giants had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 draft selections. And unfortunately, we selected no offensive lineman, right? Trey Smith would have been a decent guy just to take a flyer on the 6th round instead of a running back. Of course, we passed on Rashawn Slater. We passed on Elijah Vera Tucker. A bunch of guys that could have really helped us. Now, am I happy we got an extra first-round pick in Kadarius Toney? Hell yeah, I am. End of the day, second-round pick, third-round pick, Ellerson Smith, Allen Robinson, neither have played this year. They could have went offensive lineman. They could have tried, just to get somebody, Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State. There's a couple guys that could have brought in at least to serve as decent depth and, just in case. Joe Looney and Zach Fulton, of course, they retired. That was unfortunate. Didn't see that coming, but I don't think that they were going to be these like above average linemen that everyone thinks, would save this team and save Daniel Jones' season. That's not the reality. We're still really thin at tackle. Neither of those guys were tackles. So I think the Giants now are looking and trying to figure out how do we move forward with this? And I think it starts with firing Dave Gettleman because he failed to do the number one thing we needed him to. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Just really, giving you an overview how I feel about this offensive line and why Dave Gettleman needs to be held accountable for the failures there. Did he put together a better unit this season? Maybe. We'll never know. But good offensive lines are able to sustain injuries and supplement them. So you look at Dallas, Tyron Smith misses a game or misses some time. They have another guy step in, steal, and he's totally fine. And then, the good offensive lines can find ways to supplement deficiencies. And I think the Giants are just so thin at pretty much every offensive line position that somebody needs to be held accountable. And unfortunately, or really fortunately for us, that is Dave Gettleman. He needs to answer for that, especially after guaranteeing and promising us that he was going to solve this thing once and for all and failed miserably. But that's it for today's video, guys. Make sure to go in the description, sign up for our sponsor, BetUS. At the end of the day, guys, they're giving away $250 for absolutely free just to sign up. One of you guys is going to win. If you guys want to win, it's easy. It's easy money there. They're also matching up to your first bet. If you make a bet up to $500, they're giving you that money free for that first bet. It's ridiculous. Deposit $100, make a bet of $100, and they're really going to give you it for free. It's the easiest thing ever. Really awesome sponsor there. They want to give away money essentially to you guys. So go make sure to capitalize on that before it's too late. And obviously, much love for tuning into the channel. As always, my friends, thanks so much for taking the time on a Saturday. Hopefully tomorrow the Giants don't entirely disappoint us. But I'll do a live stream tomorrow before the game. And we can talk about it and discuss the team and whatnot. But make sure to have a fantastic rest of your weekend. As always, make sure to subscribe, like, share this video. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys on the next New York Giants video.